Well, hey everyone, I'm so happy you're here for this nutritional webinar. I'm so happy to be hosting it at the convenience of my own home. Uh, most of you aren't able to attend because you're at work and things just couldn't work out because it's Thursday at noon. So, most of you, I understand you can't come to this, but you wanted the recording. So let's hop right into this. Let me share my screen. And okay, I hope you all can see everything properly. Please drop stuff in the chat. I don't know how to see the chat. I don't think I can see the chat and share my screen at the same time. I'm not the best Zoom person. So, okay. Let's do this so you can see my face. Okay. So getting into the healthy side of things. Nutritional webinar created by Wyatt Musser. That's me. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. Okay, so I've been a Beachbody coach for 3 years now, and it's really changed my life. I love it, and I've really started to educate myself on nutrition and workouts and really taking care of my body and just being more aware when it comes to health. Educating myself constantly, listening to books. I mean, just learning about helping people and being a better person and all these things, personal growth. None of those would have happened without Beachbody. So I'm so thankful for becoming a coach back in the beginning and being where I am now, because I'm not who I was before. It's just, it's light and day. It's like two different people. So, I live in Athens, Ohio. I've been here for 5 years. I've got 2 kids and a wife. And I work at the university here in town. So, okay, keep saying so. So this is kind of a video, how it's set up, because there is little snippet videos in here, so don't mind that too much. Okay. Presentation outline. The topics for today is simple meal setup and prep. Plant-based foods. People are wanting to know more on plant-based. People are wanting to get away from meat, so they want to know more plant-based protein options and also just healthier options. We're going to go over that. Hidden sugars. This is probably my biggest topic and the biggest topic that's going to shock you the most. Healthy budget shopping. People want to know how to eat healthy and also budget it on a low budget to where they're not spending so much, but they're still eating good food. Food for weight loss. We're going to go into, that's not a giant topic. It's going to be pretty simple guidelines for you to follow. I'm really excited about how this is going to go. Okay. So, this is a video I did that I'm going to share whenever I share this video, this webinar. I'm going to share the links to these videos that are on my Instagram. So what this is a video I did prepping vegetables as soon as I got home from work. Now, the reason you want to prep veggies as soon as you get home is you don't have to put them in the fridge, then get them out later to prep them. Make time so as soon as you're opening the bags to get them out to store them, put them on a cutting board, sit them all up, get them ready, okay? That way you can just cut them all up. We're talking about mostly vegetables here, sometimes meats. It depends on what you're doing. But prepping anything ahead of time. So what this is going to do for you is this is going to tell you, hey, I have these veggies in my fridge or this prep food in my fridge, so I'm going to use those, and it's going to make you want to use them, because if they're already cut up, they're ready to go, there's no prep involved. There's not like, oh man, I got to get a cutting board out. My kids are running around. It's 5 p.m. I really just need to get this dinner on the table, and you're not feeling like it. But if you already got the veggies cut up, you can just throw them in your skillet and cook them. Okay. So prepping them as soon as you get home is the best way to save time. It is. You're not backtracking. So in this video, I go through each vegetable that I buy and how I go through cutting it all and how and why, just to give you a representation. So it's going to go through this whole video, cutting tomatoes, and it's almost finished. Okay, why do we prep? Well, it saves time, saves a lot of time, because you don't have to pull it back out and redo it later. It saves you money. So what I mean by saves you money is if you have a bunch of broccoli, if you buy 2 heads, okay, you stick them in your fridge and you don't prep them ahead of time, a lot of times, come on, let's be real, it's going to rot back there and it's going to get some moldy stuff on it. Then you're just going to throw it away and you're going to be sad about it. It's going to make you waste your money. This helps you when you know that you've prepped it, when you mentally have checked in to cutting in all that, you'll remember that. You'll say, hey, I've got this inventory in the fridge. This is all about lifelong training, okay? Sustainable training, okay? Helps you use the food. Like I said, if it's in there and you know it's cut, you'll use it. You'll be more apt to use it. It cuts the stress that comes with eating healthier. So what that means is it's hard to eat healthy when it's not prepped up, because you don't want to peel carrots, or you don't want to like buy baby carrots, what I always think, but you don't want to peel cucumbers. You don't want to cut up a vegetable to eat healthy as a snack. So instead you go for a processed packaged food that you can open up and it's probably something sweet instead of you using vegetables. So when you prep, it cuts out the stress of healthy eating, of not eating healthy, or mental struggle you'll have with it. Also, better control of portions. When it's prepped up, you can get exact amounts out. It's just going to help you figure out how much your body needs and how much you think you'll need to be full. It's going to help you figure out sizing of portions. It's really, really important. And also, doing anything, like it says on the right, doing anything for 30 days straight creates a habit. So when you start prepping your food ahead of time, you start doing these things, after you do them for about a month, it's going to be natural and you're not going to worry about that stuff anymore. Okay, let's move my little head out of the way. Okay, simple meal chat. Okay, here's some tidbits that I always try to keep in my head, some easy tools. 3 or more. Variety is key. So when it comes to meals, enjoy 3 food groups at each meal or more if possible. I mean, at breakfast, we're talking, a healthy bread, a high fiber bread with eggs and cottage cheese or a vegetable on the side, okay? Or at dinner, a piece of chicken, rice, and a carb, or a vegetable of some sort. Or at lunchtime, like a fruit, some veggies, and a protein. So I'm just saying that when you eat, each meal you eat, try to have a variety of 3 food groups. That way that your body consistently gets balance every meal. That way you don't have weird cravings and like things that come up later on. Shoot for 5 meals. 5 smaller meals a day is going to satiate your body and keep you full the entire day. And it's hard to get hungry if you're trying to drink all the water that you should be drinking, which is half your body weight in ounces. So if I weigh 150, I need 75 ounces a day every day, okay? I try to shoot for a gallon. But when you're drinking that much water and you're shooting for 5 meals a day and with all that balance, how can you be hungry anymore? You know what I mean? giving your body consistent fuel throughout the day is best because, yeah, I mean, consistent fuel, consistent stability, you're having variety, keeps your body energized with different fuels. Makes sense. Go basic. When it comes to dinners are a big thing here. Most of the time, 5 days a week, I'm not here for any other meal but dinner. So at dinner, a lot of times, my carb is very simple. I'll make rice, and I'll do different varieties. I'll make it a pilaf style. I'll roast. I'll cook my rice in a pan a little bit to brown it, and that gives it a little bit of a different taste. It takes a little longer to cook because the kernels are a little bit harder for the water to absorb. But there are different ways to make rice, and also seasonings, different seasonings. You can make it taste like anything. Rice is a very versatile thing. It's also easy on the stomach to digest. So I always do simple things like a simple carb, like a little bit of potato, not a lot. You don't need much starch. Sweet potato, a small sweet potato on the side, and then I'll do a protein and veggies. And I'll eat tons of veggies and meat, veggies and meat, veggies and meat with your rice or your baked potato or something. Keep it simple. You don't need to go extravagant on these dinners and add all these sauces, and it takes hours to make. I can sear chicken, throw it in the oven, get my rice going and cook my veggies, and then they're all done at the same time, and it's super simple. I'm literally just standing there flipping veggies while the rice is cooking itself and the chicken is cooking itself. Simple things like that. Staying basic is the best way to go, because you're having less ingredients in your body, random ingredients you don't need, and it's simple. It's just simple. Okay. So this is a grocery haul video. I covered in this video of why I bought the food that I did. So I went to Aldi, I bought a bunch of groceries, I sat down, I made this video on this grocery haul, and I explained the reasons I bought every one of them. Now, this video is super insightful. It'll also be in the description of the YouTube link after this is uploaded. So you'll have access to those. You can click on it. Or if you have me on Instagram, go to my IGTV. My Instagram tag will be at the very end of this. But go to my IGTV and you'll see it. It'll be right there. It'll be a grocery haul video. It's like 17 minutes, and I go really, really, really in depth of why I bought each vegetable and what I do with them, how I cook them, different things that I make with them. I think that is going to be the most insightful tool for you with the veggies that you should be prepping and all the different foods you should be doing. I'm not sure how long. I think this is like 13 seconds. Longer than I thought. Okay. So, getting into the plant-based proteins. All right, so people are really wanting to get away from meat. I never will. That's okay. But I do try to think of ways to add more protein into my diet, because I have a lot of trouble hitting the protein levels that I want. Let me get a drink. So whenever I choose veggies and different things, I'll try different proteins to add in, because proteins from a variety of different areas is always going to give your body different nutrients, different levels of things. So it's always good to have variety. Organic tempeh, I don't even know what that is, but people that eat it love it. Organic tofu, I've never eaten tofu. I've made it a million times, but I've never eaten it. But these are listed top to bottom. So the top is your best plant-based protein. And as you go down the list, where can I point? Yeah, as you go down the list, it will change on, quality of protein. So a veggie burger is going to be great. Your protein powders. Now, since I'm a Beachbody coach, I drink Shakeology, and it's a balance of everything I need. It's not a protein powder, it's a superfood powder. It's different. It's not just protein, it's like a whole meal. Best thing I have in the day. Beans are great. Lentils, I've had lentils, I made them at the house boiled, and you can put seasoning in them. They don't taste like a lot, but I don't mind them at all. Peas, I'm not a big pea fan. Refried beans, non-fat. Seitan, I don't remember what that is. But these, when it comes to protein, these are the tops that you're going to have when it comes to plant-based protein. The list isn't very big. So you have to really look, if you're a vegetarian, you need to be consuming extreme levels of this. I'm not sure about tofu because I've heard of its estrogen levels, but I feel the Asian society has eaten tofu for thousands of years, and I don't think they have any problems. So I don't know if you can justify any of that information. So look at this list, take a picture of it, screenshot it, whatever you want to do. It's a good list to have, especially for some variety. So the next thing when it comes to plant-based is whole grains and starches. So again, the list top to bottom is your most healthy starches and whole grains. So these lists will be accessible in the YouTube description, because I know that they're kind of hard to see here, but I will make these lists available for you after this is recorded and you get the email for it. Quinoa is top dog. Top dog quinoa. I don't know why, it's just become an amazing superfood. It's actually a seed, it's not a grain. Weird, right? But it is super high in fiber, and it's just packed full of amazing stuff. So you need to be eating more of the whole grains more than the starches. Starches are quick energy. Whole grains are long lasting energy. So I feel like I'm going to go into this a little bit later, but I want to cover it right now. So whole grains, things that are higher in fiber, those things digest slowly. Starches digest very quickly. So what that means is when you eat a whole grain, it's going to not shoot your blood sugar up, and you won't spike. Okay, so you won't get that spike and then fall again in your insulin. And the starches are best, I feel, when you first wake up. It's quick energy, gets you moving, gets you going. Before workouts to get you going, same thing, that quick energy. And also after workouts to replenish that quick energy you just lost. It replenishes it quick, doesn't normally stay as fat. You kind of rejuvenate the energy you just lost. Whole grains are good for sustainable energy, I would say at like meal time. So breakfast, you could have some buckwheat or oatmeal. Then for a snack, you could have air pop popcorn or quinoa at dinner, rice at dinner, corn at dinner, things like that. But your starches are always going to be a lot more fat. So what do we got on here? A lot of them are like root vegetables, and pastas and little breads. So it's like whole grain crackers, potatoes, water chestnuts, plantains, yams, sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes are top. Man, I'm just a big sweet potato fan. They're one of your most powerful carbs that there is, though. So I feel like this is all that I cover on plant-based, but these lists are definitely something you want to look at. And if you're working with me personally, you already have access to these lists. Just so you know, if you don't know how, just send me a message, I'll explain. But I'm going to put these accessible in the YouTube link. That way that you can make a grocery list based off of these, and that way you can get some healthy starches and whole grains in your diet, and also the plant-based proteins. Ooh, this is my favorite and most crucial subject, okay? Sugars, the most detrimental thing we consume regularly. Sugar's bad. Sugar's a nasty thing, okay? Sugar is everywhere. It's omnipresent. It's everywhere all the time, all at the same time. So when it comes to sugar, a not so fun fact, the average adult consumes 152 pounds of sugar a year. That's me. You're eating me and sugar a year, okay? 3 bags of concrete of sugar, a giant, brute, huge trash bin full of sugar is what your kidneys and your pancreas have to process per year. Children are eating 34 teaspoons a day. This is the US average. It's sick. It's sad. And it's not our fault either, and I'll explain. So 70% of adults are obese, 33% of kids. Normalizing bad choices has caused us to be in a crisis. Hidden sugar is everywhere, built to be addictive, and causing most of our health issues. Look at this fact. 12 ounces of orange juice, you were told as a kid, drink your orange juice, it's healthy. 34 grams of sugar. 34 grams of sugar equals 8.5 sugar cubes. And there's no fiber. So what's going to happen? Spike, then drop. Compare it to 12-ounce Coca-Cola, 39 grams of sugar. You might as well drink the Coke. It's just as good. So I want you to think about this stuff for a minute. Hidden sugar is everywhere. I want you to be aware of it. I want you to think about it. I want it to be in your mind, because it is what's keeping your body from doing all the good things. It's really taking away from you a lot, and you don't even realize it. I'm going to go more in depth here in just a second. Okay. Read your labels, folks. Research what you're actually putting in your body. Read the back of that label. So a good example is a can of salsa. You're like, oh man, the salsa is good. It's vegetables, but then you turn it around and you see the sugar content, and it's almost a half a cup of some salsa. No, this is pasta sauce. Ragu pasta sauce, a half cup is the same amount of sugar as 3 Oreos. You hear me? Half a cup of pasta sauce has as much sugar as 3 Oreos. Read those labels. Read the portion size. Sugar creates a dopamine response in the brain, the same as cocaine. So you get that feel-good response, that burst of flavor, that burst of intensity. There are people that literally formulate your meals in a lab and say, how can we get this to be eaten more? How can we create its addiction so people are coming back and they're customers for life? By creating a powerful flavor that's unhealthy, and it creates a dopamine response like cocaine. Quit buying it. If it's not in your house, you can't eat it. If you don't buy it, you can open that cupboard and it won't be there. It ends it all. You're going to be way less likely to leave to go buy something bad just over a craving, when you could have those prepped up foods that we talked about earlier ready to go. Slowly remove it. The cravings will go away over time as you remove sugar from your nutrition. Listen, sugar is like quitting drugs, okay? You're going to detox. You're going to have cravings. That craving is an addiction. You need more of it. So once you get out of that, you'll get past it. And I hear this all the time, especially people that do keto. They'll tell me, once I cut sugar out, I don't really care about it anymore. Sugar is very detrimental, and it's formulated to be that way. So you really need to look at your food labels. When you're buying cheap packaged food that lasts, 2 years in the cupboard, you're going to look at that nutrition label and you're going to see the level of sugar. You're going to see the 30 ingredients that are listed, and you're not going to be able to pronounce them. And you're going to eat it blindly, not understanding what that actually does to your body when you eat it. A lot of our diseases today are caused by the foods that we eat. And a lot of it's not our fault. It's an addiction, and we're addicted with blindly. We have no comprehension of this. We just don't know. We don't know what's happening. So I'm telling you right now, you're addicted to sugar probably, and it was caused without your understanding of it. So to break the addiction, you need to start cutting it out. You need to start reading labels. You need to educate what these items do to your body when you have high levels of it. I can almost guarantee that they cause cancer. They cause heart disease. They cause every bad, horrible thing that you don't want. It's going to be from the things that you eat. Control your health. Controls your health. Remember that. Let's see. Okay. All right, so I did a video about healthy shopping on a budget. Oh, I want to go back for just a second. Talk about your kids. Okay, so when it comes to your children eating 34 teaspoons a day, let's see how much that 34 divided by 3 is 11. So they're eating almost a half a cup of sugar a day. They're eating 3/8 of a cup of sugar per day. Kids are important, okay? Listen, when they're growing, give them the proper fuel. Read those labels. Give them more whole foods. Whole foods are going to be the answer. I go into this a little bit more, but I just really want you to be aware of what you give your kids and understand the sugars that are involved with these items, okay? When they want orange juice, give them an orange instead. The fiber is not going to spike their blood sugar. Okay, the fiber is going to keep them at a good level, sustainable, digest properly. You don't ever hear anybody saying they got a sugar high. I'm just jacked up on 6 apples right now. You're never going to get that, okay? But if you drink a whole bunch of orange juice, I can almost guarantee if they're on an empty stomach, they're probably going to hop around like they had a bunch of candy, because they just did, okay? Enough on that. So I did this video also that will be in the description link, or if you go to my IGTV. I literally carried my phone through the store and talked about budgeting. So my big store is Aldi. Okay, we have in town, we have some healthy organic places. We have, what are they? Local stores, local produce. We have Walmart, we have Kroger, we have, gosh, I don't know, tons of stores. Okay, but I choose Aldi. Why? Big stores like Walmart will pull you in buying more than you needed. Aldi is straightforward and cheap. I swear by it. Okay, in this video, what did I spend? I go through my receipt. $65.89. This was for a week's worth of produce, pretty much. What's fantastic about Aldi is that it's extremely straightforward, and you are only buying grocery items, okay? And it's just easy to go through, and it's all very, very cheap. And they're stocking it every day. Like, I'm watching them, they're in it every day, constantly. It's so cheap. I don't know how more people aren't going. I didn't go to Aldi for the longest time, and I'm so glad that I started doing that. Aldi has been the best choice. because it just has saved me so much money. I can guarantee that those same items at Walmart, I would have spent twice as much, because I would have went into Walmart, took a right, and went through the whole flipping store, okay, and looked at all these things that I don't need, and bought things that I didn't need, and spent way more money. It's a money pit. It's built to be that way. It's built to draw your eyes in, have aisle lined up things so you'll buy. So let me tell you another thing. If you can't buy at an Aldi, or if you just don't, if you have to get non-Aldi items like toiletries that they don't have, or anything like school stuff or whatever, and you have to go to Walmart or something, when it comes to the groceries, do what's called perimeter shopping. So this is a just, I don't know who came up with this in the beginning, but it makes perfect sense. Perimeter shopping. Perimeter is where you stay on the outside and you don't go through the center aisles. Okay, so they always have the milk in the back of the store because everybody drinks milk, so it's always in the back, so you got to go buy all the items. So start at the back, go get your milk, all your stuff, your almond milk, hopefully not dairy milk as much. Go through, go to your cheese, go down, go to your meats, go around, go to the fruits and vegetables. And you may need to go halfway through and go down the fats aisle and get like oils and different things. But stay on the perimeter. The perimeter is what's going to give you the best nutrition, because it's fresh. It has to stay cold. So it's always on the cold stuff, because it has a shelf life. And that means it has less preservatives. And that means it's more healthy. So perimeter shop. Google it, and look into it. All these things, I hope that you educate yourself more on. I hope that one sentence that I say hits you and you're like, huh. And then you go and research it and it teaches you a whole new way. I hope that something like that happens. Okay. Buying in bulk saves. I always buy the biggest pack of most items. Meats can be frozen, and dry goods in bulk save you. So in this video, you've seen me grabbing rice. So per portion on my plate is 2 cents. Man, I was going to have these pictures. I had them. They're in a post, but they were just a great representation of how cheap it is to budget. So when it comes to, I remember somebody asking, they wanted me to cover how to actually want to make dinner at night. So when it comes to making dinner, like I said, keep it simple, okay? Make the food do the work for you. Bake it in the oven. Pan sear it, whatever, the meat, throw it in the oven, let it cook. It's always going to come out great. Season it well, okay? But don't make dinner so complex to where you need to be standing at that thing the whole time, because let's be real, most of us are parents and our lives are freaking nuts, okay? We can't do that stuff all the time. So here's a picture. I don't know if you can see it, but this is a dinner I made. It cost $1.33 a plate. Okay, so that is a piece of chicken, peppers and onions, and red skin potatoes that I roasted. I pan-seared it, threw that chicken in the oven. The onions and peppers, I tossed them in a wok. Okay, the potatoes I baked in the oven. They did the work for me. The peppers and onions were the only thing I had to whip up. This dinner, 11 cents, 60 cents, and 38. So this was 83 cents for this meal. So what this is a chicken thigh that I smoked, put it on my grill. 11 cents for broccoli that I baked. I just threw it in the oven with olive oil, salt, and pepper, and a sweet potato, which I also baked for an hour, or you can microwave them for 5 minutes. Okay, I prefer the baked taste. I don't know, this is my thing. 83 cents for that meal. Okay, a breakfast, or this is what I would consider lunch, an omelet with a piece of whole grain toast with some butter on it. 61 cents this cost me. Simple. The veggies I heat up in a skillet. I then lay them on top of a cooked egg with a piece of toast from the toaster. Like, not a big deal. One more example is meatballs with zucchini and squash and corn. So I have a starch, veggies, and protein there. $1.92 for that meal. Super, super cheap. The meatballs were easy. I rolled them up into balls. I just cooked those on the stove. While I was cooking the onions and peppers, I didn't have to toss them a ton, so I was able to walk away, and the corn was boiling. So simple. Don't go crazy. You don't need to go extreme. Try to not open boxes of things and heat it up in the stove or in the microwave or out of the freezer. Like, get some real healthy ingredients. But buying in bulk is really going to be the best thing for you, because when it comes down to it, you'll spend less per portion. You see the price, read that little guy underneath that tells you the price per portion size, and that's going to be where you save your money. Buying in bulk saves you in the long run every time. Okay, so food for weight loss, things to remember. Eat more veggies. Okay, fill up your plate with more vegetables, and you're going to eat less. You're going to eat less calories. Veggies don't have many calories, and they take up a lot of space, and they take quite a decent amount of time to break down because of their fiber content. Your gut bacteria really enjoys them being there. You have a more solid stool. It's just, eat more vegetables. It's going to help you out in the long run. It's always going to, especially for weight loss, because they're less calories, they take up more space. It seems like a simple thing to me. So prepping them ahead, buying them from a cheap store, it's going to help you get into the habit of using them and making them every day, or cooking them ahead and having them for the week. Okay, go for fruit instead. Fruit. It's awesome. People are so scared of fruit. Oh, it's got sugar. It's not going to do the same as the things you're eating, like ice cream or whatever. Okay, when your kid wants, here's a kind of a neat thing I heard, and we use it sometimes. Sometimes Brandy and I will be like, "Man, I feel snacky," you know, and but I won't want to eat something bad, so she'll be like, "Do you want to eat an apple?" And if I say no, she'll be like, "Well, you're not hungry. Why don't you just drink some water?" And if I do say yeah, I go eat that apple, and then guess what? My craving's gone because it's sugar. My body takes it in the same. It creates a, a satiated feeling, a full feeling. So go for fruit instead. Go for whole foods entirely. Go for local. Go for organic. Go for whole. Go for all the goods. Because in the end, that's going to help you get the best fuel, and it's also going to help you the most. Watch those carbs, okay? Carbs are your worst enemy, because pretty much carb is sugar, okay? Your body translates it into sugar, uses it as fuel. Watch the carbs. You can get fuels from other things. You can also limit the amounts you eat. So at dinner, half a cup of rice. You don't need more than that unless you're some power lifter, okay? You don't need more than that. You don't need that much energy. You'll think you do, but if you have a half cup of veggies, a chunk of chicken here, and then you've got a whole half a plate full of veggies, by the time you're done with those veggies and stuff, you're not going to need more rice. And if you're hungry, let's say that you eat all your food on your plate and you're still hungry, don't go get more rice, go get more vegetables. And if you don't feel like eating more vegetables, you're apparently not hungry, okay? Just little tricks, just little things I just want to throw out there, so just to make you think a little bit. Cutting out sugar. Sugar is horrible. 152 pounds. So I did some research independently just to figure out the connection between kidney failure and diabetes. Okay, because I'm like, why is it, I worked on the ambulance for like 3 years. Why is it that everybody that has kidney failure is diabetic? Why are they connected all the time? I know why. We consume so much sugar, our pancreas can't filter it all. That's, our pancreas is what produces the insulin, is what keeps all of us balanced and alive. Your pancreas is one of the most crucial organs you have. So when you cram in all the sugar all the time, your pancreas can't filter it all. So the next place in your body is your kidneys. Your kidneys are not built to take on any sugar. So when you keep eating sugar over and over for years and years and you get diabetes, and then you have to deal with your pancreas, that means your pancreas isn't working that great anymore. So you have to, you know, fuel it by medicine. So then your pancreas don't work right. So where does it go? It goes to your kidneys. So then renal failure starts to happen because your kidneys aren't built to filter that. They're built to filter urine, blood to urine. I'm pretty sure that, I mean, it goes from your bloodstream directly to your kidneys. So it would make sense. Your kidneys don't filter anything but the blood and urine you create. They're not meant to take on any sugars. So it dies. So then you have renal failure, and then you need a kidney transplant, and then you're a dead man, woman. You're dead. I mean, it's horrible. The list of kidney transplants needed on this earth is probably for those 70% of the obese, and it's huge, unmeasurable. It's insane. So cut out sugar. Cutting it out is gonna save your life. It's gonna save you from disease. Eat more whole foods. Eat all the good stuff instead. What's next? I think it's fats. Okay. Touching on fats. Okay. Fats are very crucial. A lot of us, especially if we're from the 90s or earlier, we were told that fat is bad. Fat is bad. That's why fat is very top on the nutrition facts, so you see it first. Fat is not bad. I honestly hardly even deal with tracking fat or figuring out how to get it. If you look at this screen, here's fats that you need or want. Avocados is a huge, perfect fat for breakfast. Fat holds more energy in it per gram than carbohydrates and protein combined by like 3 times. So fat holds the most energy. I mean, it's an extremely powerful thing. That being said, because of its density of energy per gram, you don't need a lot of it, and you don't need much to continue. Like when you're eating breakfast, let's say you're eating yogurt. Eat your yogurt, that's your protein. Put some fruit, that's your carb, that's your fruit section. Then you can sprinkle a little bit of nuts on there or almonds or whatever to eat in your parfait, but you don't need a ton. You don't need a bunch in there. Ghee, organic butter, grass-fed, whatever, olive oil. Eggs have fat, but I consider those a protein. Cottage cheese is a great protein. No, it's not a fat. Cheese, regular cheese. And also all your nuts and seeds and dressings are oil-based. So when it comes to these, I honestly don't worry too much about adding these into my food. Just a little here and there because I use it to make things. Like with dinner, when I pan-sear chicken or steak or whatever, I put olive oil down. So that oil is incorporated. Also the meat, especially if it's beef, has fat in it. Okay, I don't worry about fat very much, and I don't think anyone else should. I like saturated and saturated fat. I don't worry about that stuff as much. To me, the carbs and the protein and understanding the veggies and all those things is more important than fats, because you need so little fats and they're added to pretty much everything you eat. I don't think you need to add a ton of them into your diet. Now, when it comes to yogurt, like I talked about sugars, when you buy low-fat yogurt or low-fat cottage cheese or low-fat or 1% milk or 2% milk or whatever, they take the fat out. But what do they replace it with? Sugar. Sugar, okay? They replace it with sugar. Then you're addicted, and then you want more of it, and then it's going to be detrimental to your health. Buy whole fat. I would prefer you buy whole fat. Dairy, I prefer you not buy dairy at all. We're not built to consume dairy, especially the kind of dairy that we have. Our body is just, you don't need milk after birth, after infancy. You don't, especially dairy milk that has been genetically modified with antibiotics and things. You don't need that junk, okay? I say go for almond milk. But anyways, buying a whole fat organic yogurt or any style of yogurt, buy a whole fat, because there's going to be a lot less sugar, and you can sweeten it with what you want at home, like honey, and you'll know where that sugar comes from. You'll know what you're putting into it. If it's brown sugar you want in there, you'll know that you put it in there, not whatever whoever did in their chemistry lab or whatever put in there for you. Don't be scared of fat. I'm not scared of fat. I don't worry about it. When I cook, I use fat all the time. I use olive oil. I use butter. Okay, I'm not scared of butter either. Carbs are where I worry, and sugars is where I worry. So that's my touch on that. So the next thing is questions. Let me get out of sharing screen. Can I new share? Trying to figure out how to get back to full screen. I don't want to share this. So there's only a couple of you here, and I'm so thankful you're here. I know most of you couldn't make it because it's, like I said, it's, I don't stop share, duh. I don't want most of this. No, I don't know what I'm saying. I want to leave this, if JC or Sarah, if either one of you have any questions for me, you can drop them right now. But I feel like I covered pretty much everything that I want to cover. Now, I am going to tell you this. So when it comes to me as a Beachbody coach, I help people do all this stuff. Okay, this is my one-on-one coaching. I'll do this with you. I'll figure out exactly how many fruits, veggies, fats, oils, proteins, carbs. I'll figure all that out for you, and I'll get you on a plan to lose weight, and I'll figure out how to get you balance, and I'll get you into a community of people online that all work with one another, and they all help each other out, and we all root for one another, doing these workout programs at home, and also working on our nutrition and sharing that with one another. So the packs right now are $140, and that's the cheapest they'll ever be because it's worth thousands of dollars, and they give it for so cheap. And I don't know how people don't see that value, because you get an online community, you're always connected. You don't have to go physically see these people. You can dress in whatever clothes you want and work out in your own home and be motivated by people online. And you also get our superfood shake that I talked about, and you get all this nutritional help, and also you get weekly meal plans. You get guidance from Brandy and I. You get all in the $8,000 worth of workout programs that now has like the Netflix of workouts of over 1,200 different workouts. I'm not even scratch the surface, because every time I finish one, they come out with a new one, and then I can't go back and do the old. They keep redoing and making new ones that are interesting and exciting. It's hard to not stay motivated when they keep creating more things to keep you going, and better ways to educate yourself. They have 2 different nutritional things that you can teach yourself on. I'm certified in one of them. Oh, thank you, JC. I really appreciate that. I'm glad that you're able to be here and listen to me talk for 50 minutes. So if you're ever interested in, joining me and me being your coach, I would love to help you so much, because I want success for everyone when it comes to their health and their nutrition and their life. I want everybody to have a long standing life where they're just enjoying it and not worrying about their physical appearance, because they're on top of it. You know what I mean? That confidence is extreme. So anyways, all this information, all the things that I said, they'll be in the links on the YouTube post thing, and in the description I'll have all that information. You'll be getting emailed all this, and if you're interested in working with me, please send me a DM. Don't worry, I'm not going to bite you. We're just going to chat, and I'm going to figure out how I can help you exactly to reach every goal that you have, and really work on, crunching that down and really taking care of yourself for the long haul. I'm never a person that's going to say cut out sugars forever and ever and ever, because sometimes you like dessert, but I don't want you beating yourself up over it. And that's just things that we teach. Okay, so I want to thank you so much for being part of this webinar, and caring enough about me to want to hear me speak and hear me talk for an hour about nutritional guidance. The fact that you have made it this far tells me a lot about you. It tells me that you want to work on yourself. It tells me that you want the help and you are ready. Okay. So anyways, I want to thank you so much for this opportunity, and I'll be having more of them, and any suggestions you have or anything you'd like to hear in the future, please send me a message. I would love to hear it. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, and I will talk to you all very soon.